Hello everybody and welcome to TA and Chill. Sorry for the terrible microphone. So I just wanted to take a minute today to look at GameStop. A lot of people probably really big fans of it. Um, it doesn't get enough coverage in the media, but I think something really interesting happened with GameStop today. So without wasting your time or mine, let's get into it. So this may look like a mess to any random person, but this is Ichimoku. So here we have the regular price action without Ichimoku on top of it, in case you don't know what it is. Here is Ichimoku on laid over GameStop, and you can just consider these clouds as being essentially zones of resistance. This is January over here to the current time now in November 22nd, and there's something very interesting and different about the breakout that we're experiencing today compared with the breakouts on previous occasions. Let's compare it to May 24th over here, or perhaps August over here. Um, so if we just take away Ichimoku for a moment, these are Heikin-Ashi candles, so they don't look like normal ones like this. They give us a smoother impression of price action, especially when combined with Ichimoku. So the difference between this breakout and breakouts earlier in the year is really that if you look at the thickness of the clouds, so you can imagine them as areas of resistance, and and the orange lines are resistance, horizontal lines of resistance. So if we go back to January and March, we can see that the breakouts, whilst they were very aggressive and there were other factors at play, such as the buy button being turned off, so that added a lot of sell pressure. The difference is that in previous circumstances, price action was actually bumping up against these clouds of resistance here. And this happened in March. It passed through the cloud, through some heavy resistance there in May, and didn't manage to push forwards. And I can give you a reason for that, and that's using something called the lagging span. So the lagging span is price action but set back 26 periods. So in this case 26 days. And you can see that in order to validate this breakout, really this lagging span should have been able to pull away further from the area of resistance around $250 a share, but it didn't. This line here, Senko span B, which is a very strong magnetic area of resistance, pulled it back in, and price action wasn't able to hold on top of these clouds here and push down through it. And you got what's called a death cross here, which is a cross of the Senko span, so short term, over the Kijun Sen, which is medium term here. So that's a death cross, and it's just a weak selling signal when above the cloud like this. But once it breaks through this cloud, it's considered pretty bearish, and obviously that carried on. So you had one death cross back in June, and you had another death cross back in March here, and a couple of others besides, the one where the buy button was turned off. So winding forwards a little bit, if I turn off price action so you can see, so something very interesting is going on here. So on previous occasions there was a lot of resistance around. What we've just had in the past 2 days here, and I should have caught it earlier, but I wasn't quite sure because it did magnetically get drawn back to this point, but it broke out on Friday. Um, we have a golden cross here, and significantly, this is a golden cross above the above horizontal, several important areas of horizontal resistance at 208, and along these the Senko span B here, Senko span B and A. So above all of these key areas of resistance. So what that really means is that this is potentially, there's no guarantees in this, but potentially this breakout is unlike any of the previous breakouts. And this could also be, yeah, blue or yellow. Yellow skies ahead. Like there's really not very much to stop GameStop from going absolutely crazy over here. So there will be major resistance levels at yeah 233, which we've already broken at this point, I believe. So we're consolidating at resistance here, and yeah, in my opinion, there's very little to stop us going and up until sort of 265, 283, and yeah, who knows what could happen after that? Maybe some hedge funds on the wrong side of the trade would begin um, buying back shares. That would be the potentially the beginning of the short squeeze. And if you look at the forward Kumo here, the Kumo is Japanese for cloud. This is a very significant flip positive. So in these previous on these previous occasions, sentiment was, you can consider the thickness of the cloud as a kind of sentiment indicator, and the cloud has been thinning and thinning and thinning. So the bearish sentiment is starting to weaken, and the bulls are starting to take control. And just looking on the regular indicators here, or less esoteric indicators, we can see a couple of very important crosses, which I'll highlight for you here. So we had a positive cross on October 28th, another positive cross October 26th. So this has been brewing for a little while, and I wish I'd have caught it earlier. I probably took my eyes off the ball a little bit, but it is quite obvious in retrospect. And also there was the Bollinger Bands were thinning out over here towards the end of October. We had that initial run following up the Bollinger Bands here, wasn't able to maintain it, and it came back to the center line there. If we go down to the 4 hours, this is very, very interesting, because what this tells me is that I do not think that this run is complete yet. The trend is extremely strong. And we'll have to see. I mean, it's outside of the Bollinger Bands right now, so perhaps we could expect that to move in somewhat, because that's more than 2 standard deviations away from price action. But these have tightened, and this looks to be the beginning of potentially a very, very powerful run into the end of November, December, and possibly January as well. So if I was to compare this to another setup, I think a good comparison would probably be Tesla here. And obviously we all wish that we'd bought Tesla back when it had its original golden crosses here, although under the cloud, which carried on upwards after that, golden cross, and we can see how Tesla worked out in the end, and is still continuing. So anyway, thank you for watching my video, and I hope you found the technical analysis useful. And if you'd like to see more videos or make any requests for technical analysis, just drop a comment below. And thanks for watching.